Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm back here at Montu Motors in sunny Oldsmar, Florida, and we're bringing another JDM classic to you. This is a 1993 R32 V Spec. Now, when we talk about R32s, of course, we're talking about the Nissan Skyline GTR. Let's talk a little bit about GTR history. The first GTR was produced all the way back in 1969, and the reason why these are referred, and that one was referred to as Skyline GTR, is because they were built on top of the Skyline platform. The new GTRs that you get at your local Nissan dealership, those are just called GTRs. They're not based off of a Skyline chassis anymore. With the one behind me, the R32, that came out in 1989. And over the years, the R32 dominated the racetracks around Japan, but also another surprising place, down under in Australia. The R32 won so many races in the Australian Supercar Series that the Australians gave the GTR its nickname Godzilla, because just like Godzilla wreaked havoc on Tokyo, so did this GTR on the field of all those Australian supercars back from '89 and following through until they actually disqualified the car and made it no longer available to be raced in that series. The one behind me, this one is a V Spec. So the V Spec has some extra goodies that the standard R32 does not have. And R32 is just a chassis code. R32, R33, R34, R35 is the current chassis code. Underneath the hood is a beloved engine known as the RB26. It's a 2.6 liter inline six turbocharged engine. That's gonna help produce that amazing power along with the all-wheel drive that's gonna keep it planted. But the V Spec is a special homologation car. What that means, homologation, is that they had to build so many cars at a certain spec to race it in the Australian Supercar Series. So this one has extra goodies that the standard GTR has. They only made about 2,800 of these, 2,800 V Specs. So let's go ahead, dive into this GTR. Right off the bat, the R32 has the most classic lines of the whole GTR series. I love the look. You look at it and you say, hey, it's kind of cool, but these cars perform like no other. I really like what they were doing with the headlights and how it integrated into your horizontal slot grille. All the venting is wide open, and that's gonna help not only cool the engine, but also cool this massive intercooler for the GTR. With the V Spec, this is a special nose. So the whole front nose, the fascia, is specific to the V Spec series, a homologation special, but very clean lines, and I just love how low and wide this thing is. Let's go ahead and take a look around the corner here. So as we come around the bend, just loving the lines. Here is a specific wheel. So GTRs back then had 16-inch wheels. This is a 17-inch wheel, only available on the V Spec. Another thing, and I'm gonna have O'Neill show you, are those Brembo calipers. This has the upgraded Brembo calipers with the 17-inch wheel to give us the most performance with that all-wheel drive that's gonna keep this thing stuck to the asphalt like Gorilla Glue. Let's continue down the side. Those classic lines, love the styling. You got the lower sill extension. A GTR is gonna be wider, and this one even has wider rear bodywork than your standard GTR. So as we come to the rear, you can see the flaring out of the rear fender panel into the back area of the iconic trunk lid wing. Love the style. This thing is fully functional at speed, and there it is, the classic taillight display. Those round taillights, the Skyline name embossed into the rear bumper area, that iconic GTR logo. V Spec, such an amazing vehicle. Look at the size of that custom exhaust. That's a 4-inch outlet. Turbo all the way back, all open, is gonna give this thing a sound like no other. But speaking of sound, let's go check the heart of Godzilla. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on Godzilla. Check out the heart of this animal. That is that classic RB26. So what you're looking at, 26 means 2.6 liter inline six twin turbocharged engine. You're looking at 276 horsepower, 271 pound-feet of torque. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a secret tip. These produce more than 276 horsepower. In reality, they produce around 316, 320 horsepower out of that straight six. So they are underrated. 0 to 60 in about 4.6 seconds, a top speed of 150 miles an hour. You can see that this engine has a little bit of patina. Some owners from the past have done some different changes, especially with that large strut tower brace. Of course, with a strut tower brace, that's gonna stiffen the front end of this car to allow it to handle like no other, especially with the all-wheel drive system that this thing has. Made it to a manual transmission, that 5-speed manual. These engines are bulletproof, and that's what's amazing. You call Montu Motors, they get you your dream car, and then you could drive it for more and more miles and have a big happy face plastered right across there. But you know what? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and fire up Godzilla. All right, guys, we're inside this GTR Nissan Skyline. Amazing car, amazing heritage. This is the stuff that, because of that 25-year rule, remember, if a car is 25 years or older, you can now import them into the United States. Montu Motors has been doing it since day one. You can see in here a lot of stock pieces. There's gonna be certain age that happens. The car is over 25 years old. Stock seats. These seats, I'm telling you, they're comfortable, but they hold you right into place. These were seats specific to the GTR. You can see how during this time period, everything is turned towards the driver, driver focus. Whoever owned this before changed out the shifter knob, put an Alcantara boot, Alcantara on the e-brake, but everything else in this center console is stock, and as you can see, it functions. Why don't you come on over to the business end and I'll show you behind the wheel of this GTR V Spec. All right, guys, business end of this 93 GTR V Spec. I am gonna zonk some things. There's no perfect car, right? Zonking the steering wheel. Whoever owned this previously put the steering wheel on. I do not like the carbon fiber material. I don't like the style of the steering wheel. I also cannot stand those pedals. That's a major zonk. That's like at an AutoZone or something like that. And you know what? The previous owner probably loved it. Listen, to each their own, but here on Raiti's Rides, I have to do you guys justice and I have to call it as it is. So I am gonna zonk the pedals, the steering wheel, and this shifter knob. It may look cool. I don't like the way it feels in my hand, and I'm sure during the drive, it's gonna be a little bothersome. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. This is what they have available, and this is what I'm bringing. What I do like, though, is that the gauges are untouched. So you have your analog speedometer, tachometer, which the tachometer goes up to 7,500 RPM. You have a front torque gauge, fuel gauge, oil, and your coolant temp. So it's nice to have all that instrumentation. And being 6 feet tall, sitting in these stock seats, they're very comfortable, very supportive, but it's that special time that I know that you've been waiting for. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this GTR for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the 1993 Nissan GTR V Spec, and this thing purrs like a kitty cat. Not surprised because of how well Montu Motors does with getting these amazing JDM classics brought over to the United States. Really like the overall feel. There's just such a rawness to the whole experience that makes driving one of these so different than anything else you could buy. And like I said, they're underrated horsepower wise. There's so much mystique behind them because they never sold them here in the United States. And just really cool to be sitting on the right hand side of a car and driving. It's funny the looks that you get from people when they say, hey, That guy's got the steering wheel on the right-hand side of the car, but everything is perfectly placed. I feel so one with the car. I just wish that it didn't have these AutoZone changes done to it, especially the shifter. I'm not really digging the shifter, but here we go. We're rolling out, first gear, second gear. Rolling on nice, builds the boost. Hits third, so nice. The gearbox is actually shifting ultra smooth. And just the way the car drives, it's very tight, very well put together. Nissan was definitely doing things during this time period so different than what they're doing now, that's for sure. Even with the new GTR. The new GTR is too polished. This thing has so much more to it. And that sound of that RB26, and it pulls. I mean, I'm in fourth gear and it just pulls. It's unbelievable. Great sound coming out of it. Really nice. All right, guys, we're in the GTR. A little bit of acceleration here. Pulls all the way to red line. Nice and smooth. With that twin turbocharged engine, you're gonna get that low down torque, and it builds boost so nicely and so in a linear way. There's so many people that switch out the twin turbos and put one gigantic basketball turbo, which is great for building crazy amounts of power, but when it comes to drivability, this thing is amazing with the twin turbos because you don't get really any lag to it. That's the wonderful thing. All right, guys, a little bit of a semi-twisty road around here. Want to check out that all-wheel drive. It definitely grips. Gotta go slow over the speed humps. Remember, this does have those larger Brembo brakes up there, which is definitely gonna help slow down Godzilla very nicely. The way it transfers the weight, you just feel so connected to the road, unlike anything else. On the brakes. Another little bit of a speed hump. But I'm telling you, you feel so connected to what the wheels are doing, what the tires are doing when gripping the asphalt. It just feels phenomenal. And the sound of that straight six, God, amazing. The way that the torque puts you back in that seat, great feeling. Very good feeling. And this car is so smooth. And the fact that it's 25 years old, it's actually 26 years old, is amazing. Feedback from the wheel, I'm telling you, my God, look at this. Really nice. I'm telling you, this is another car, yet again, that I wish I had tons of money and tons of room in my garage, because I would definitely add a 1990s GTR to my garage in a heartbeat. A heartbeat. Look at this thing. Watch this. This is amazing. It just wants to be driven hard. The harder you drive it, the better it performs. And that's what I love about it. It's like, it does not just want to be pussyfoot around the neighborhood. It wants to be driven, and driven hard, and I love that. And the sound from that exhaust and the throttle sensitivity, you know, we got these, today we have these electronic throttles, and it's like, you just lose something in translation there, that with this thing, you feel it again. You feel alive, you feel connected. It's wonderful, wonderful feeling. But we're gonna go ahead, hopefully you got enough here. We're gonna wrap this up. I know I didn't get enough. I wish I could just keep driving with this thing, but we're gonna wrap it up and get back to Montu Motors, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a wonderful, magical day once again here at Montu Motors. Definitely got to give a huge shout and a thank you to Jeremy, Sam, and Jack. So accommodating to allow me to bring these JDM classics to you. If these are the types of things that you like to see on Raity's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on the way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raity's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making this great content just for you, click the link in the description. It'll take you to Spreadshirt. Get yourself some Raity's Rides merch. Every bit helps us out here. Speaking of help, can't get this done without O'Neill. He's fallen in love with these GTRs. The first time he's ever seen a flock of GTRs, and I don't think he wants to leave. So I hope Montu has a cot for you, O'Neill, so that you can sleep here and just dream about these great JDM classics behind me. But thank you, O'Neill, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.